I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire. I am your host, Jim Beaver, sitting in the saddle just like I have for, getting close to 200 episodes now, I think. But, we are here on a beautiful Monday morning. Got to tell you, temperatures here in Parker, Arizona, kind of heating up. We're approaching 90 degrees. I got to tell you, for February, that is way too hot. But it made for some great racing in the Parker 425 here in my backyard over the weekend. Speaking of the 425, we will have Gary Weyhrich, the overall winner and trick truck winner of the 425. He'll be calling in later on today. Talk about a stacked show. We've got Gary Weyhrich. We've got Ami Houde calling in. We're going to be talking Supercross with her later on. And then two King of the Hammers racers, Derek West, top 5 finish, one of the KMC Wheels drivers in the King of the Hammers event. We'll also have motorsports legend Ricky Johnson making his Down and Dirty Radio Show debut today. A long time coming. We're going to be talking King of the Hammers, where he took his second place finish. Also, maybe some of his Supercross background, his plans for 2015, some short course, maybe even his try at GRC last year. But going to be great having the legend RJ Ricky Johnson on air today. 4 great, amazing guests, and a whole lot more here in today's Down and Dirty Radio Show. Got to thank all of you for tuning in. If you got some questions for our guest, at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, we'll definitely get those on air. And I got to tell you, looking forward to this. I had quite the eventful weekend. Those of you that haven't heard, we'll get into it later on, but had a little bit of debacle before qualifying, had a little bit of foul play happening with my truck. We'll get into that. I know there's, got an entire hate group after me on the internet, so I guess, with success does breed hate once in a while. And then also on race day, not exactly as planned, a car dead stopped in the middle of the course. I was trying to pass, completely stopped in the middle of the course. I tried to dodge him, clipped him with the left front of my truck while I was in midair, barrel rolled my truck. We got it back on its wheels. We're able to go about another 100 miles and ended up from the roll having some damage to the truck. So we'll definitely have that GoPro footage up on YouTube, on my Facebook page at some point this week. Guys looking through it, editing it. I know we've got some of our safety partners definitely want impact. They want the video footage. They analyze stuff like that to kind of see how drivers move in the event of a crash. So, we'll definitely have that up. You guys can see exactly what happened, dispel any rumors. There's a lot of them floating around. I did roll. I am fine. Truck's fine. We'll be at the Mint 400. But there's a lot that goes into play in an event like this. So, that is my story, and we're moving on. It's another Monday, another great show, 4 amazing guests, and I believe we're approaching close to 1 million of you listeners, unique listeners have tuned in. So thanks to every one of you who tune in each and every week to hear me talk off-road and action motorsports. But our first guest today is going to be Derek West. He's going to be calling in from the great state of Colorado, and we're going to be recapping some of the King of the Hammers. And I got to tell you, King of the Hammers, what an amazing event. An event that, you talk about the Mint 400s, the Baja 1000s, and, and stuff like that, and, just legendary events. But King of the Hammers, very short-lived, and it's already grown to be big. But it looks like we got Derek West calling in. How's everything going, Derek?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing well, man, and I got to tell you, pretty solid weekend for you guys. Top 5 at King of the Hammers. Obviously it could be better. You could always win the thing, but top 5, not a bad takeaway.
Yeah, we keep trying. It's our 4th top 5 finish, and while top 5 is great, especially for everything we overcame, it was really a little bit of a disappointment. We were really hoping to do better. Just didn't get the car done in time to get all the kinks worked out, and so I guess there's always next year.
Yeah, and I know this was pretty much a brand new car, right? This is the first event on this new car?
Yeah, everything was going good on it. We had a build we were shooting to do in about 30 days, and just had some real bad gremlins that caught up to us. I had several builders for the transmission look in there and couldn't find anything, but then in the end we had something going on in there and went through about 3 different transmission rebuilds, 2 motor swaps, a head job, and it was just a nightmare. But we finally got it all figured out. The guys that showed me speed really stuck it out and helped me get all this stuff together. Otherwise, we wouldn't even make the start.
Yeah, a lot of all-nighters, I'm assuming, right?
So, yeah, just a lot of ups and downs. And, like I said, I was glad to make the start and happy about the 5th place, but we were sure had aspirations to do better than that. But, that was a tough race. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I know they changed, from years past. Obviously, you've run the event, multiple times. I mean, talk a little bit about the course, because I know they changed things up this year and threw some new sections at you guys, didn't they? And those ended up being pretty brutal.
Yeah, we unfortunately didn't have a chance to run any of the course beforehand, so we did 0 pre-running. So the first lap was a little tricky for us. I thought I had a good idea of what it was going to do, but it was a little bit different. And, second lap was, I guess, what I'd call a pretty standard course, and we had to change the oil a couple times due to some other issues we were having, and got behind a little bit, so we got a little bit of a bottleneck there at Jackhammer, which I would have expected. Third lap, they bypassed Jackhammer because I guess the bottleneck was so bad, and I was all for that, so I didn't want to go in there and sit and wait hours behind other people, or hold up any of the other leaders for that matter. So, it was just a tough, long course. We were down some, but I think overall we were on course for about 11 hours. So,
yeah, it definitely makes for a long day of racing.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, talking about King of the Hammers and obviously, talking about Jackhammer and stuff, I mean, you as a driver, I'm familiar with desert racing, so I totally understand, the desert racing portion of King of the Hammers. But the rock side of things, I know, it's all new to me. And I know, a lot of guys, thinking TJ Flores and even Robbie Gordon, some of these guys, they've had a little bit of trouble adapting to the rock side of things. I mean, when you get into a place like Jackhammer, I mean, how do you attack that? I mean, is it just, one rock at a time, or do you look at the overall picture and figure out how you're going to get up it?
Well, that's one of our strategies. Is we've been a real good fast team in the rocks. We finally got a car that goes pretty good through the desert as well. But so when we get in the rocks, that's our opportunity to make up time. At Jackhammer, we got up in there and tested the obstacle a couple times, and part of our strategy also is to win the race, you must first finish. So after hitting it 2 or 3 times, we made the call to get out and winch, and, that's part of your strategy. Get out and winch through an obstacle, get through it, and move on. And that's what we did.
Yeah. Well, and talking about that, I mean, in these vehicles, I'm just looking at the attrition, and it seems like this King of the Hammers in particular was just absolutely brutal. And it seemed like very, very few finishers. What do you think contributed to that?
I don't know. I think there were 17 people that finished on time. You got to be moving along and swift, getting through the courses and making checkpoints on time. But the big deal is, not tearing up your stuff and choosing the right components. A few years back, we made some changes. We went to Nitto tires and KMC wheels, and that's a big part of it. We don't carry a spare anymore to keep the car light, but a lot of these guys, they get flat tires and they bend their wheels and leaves them stranded. Some guys have multiple issues, and so we've kind of handled that there. And then when you get in these situations like Jackhammer, and I'm not trying to be the hero and drive the obstacle. I would absolutely like to, but if it's not happening, I don't want to push the car because I might break it. You get out and you spend 10 minutes and you winch it and you're done.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that's some of the issues the other guys have or not, but that's my plan, and we've got a lot of finishes to seems to make it work. So on the flip side of that, if I was pushing a little harder, maybe we wouldn't be winching and we'd be finishing a little better. But it's a game of trying to make the right decisions and not make the wrong ones, for sure, and make it to the end of the day and try and get there as quick as you can.
Yeah, well, it's what goes back to the old adage. Sometimes going slower actually means going faster, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, and it's a crucial balance there of pushing hard but not pushing over the edge, and trying to find that fine line there is it can be tough.
Yeah.
One wrong move and you went over the line and you're done for the day.
Yeah. Well, talking about the King of the Hammers, I mean, it's grown to be this huge, mega event. You've won Ultra 4 races, in the past. I mean, what does it take, your team looking at next year? I mean, what's it going to take for you guys to move from, a top 5 finish to the top of the podium?
Well, I feel like we've really got a car that's on par with some of what the other guys have. We stepped up our horsepower game, our braking game, suspension. We've got to fine tune all that stuff. So part of the issue was we had so many gremlins that we didn't get to fine tune, some of those parts on the car. So now we're going to work on that and push hard. So, even though we would have liked it done better than a top 5 finish, it's a great starting place for the points race, and we're hoping to do all of the Ultra 4 races, east and west, and really do some stuff with, not only individual races, but some of the series championships, and just, let it hang out a little bit and see what we can do.
Yeah. What any other events you're looking forward to? I mean, obviously King of the Hammers, it's the big one every year, but any other races on the schedule that you particularly as a driver look forward to?
I like them all. Some of the West Coast races, looking forward to those. Those are more a little different. They're short course with kind of some man-made rock sections and a faster-paced event. So before, we've not had the horsepower or brakes to do a whole lot in those, and so it'd be interesting to see what we can do now with we're fixing some stuff in those areas. And the Arkansas race and the Indiana race, that's really my bread and butter, so to speak, is woods racing. That's kind of where I got my start, was in the trees, and so I definitely enjoy that. And, but racing's racing. I love it all.
Yeah. Well, talk a little bit about, King of the Hammers as a marketing platform, because, you're one of the teams. You guys have, a solid core group of sponsors, obviously with Nitto, KMC Wheels, and a few others. Talking about that event, because, literally a city is built out there in the course of a couple of weeks, it's just, such a mega event. For not only you as a driver, but your sponsors and your partners. It's got to be, it's got to be a huge platform for you guys.
Yeah, it is. So, that's part of our strategy. We go into every race and we put a whole bunch of effort into prep and doing the best we can to go out and win. But, in the end, we're a marketing team, so we're trying to market for everybody that helps us. And we've chosen what I feel is the best part suppliers there is. And, there's great relationships there between, our team and the manufacturers, and they're the ones, help us get to the events, and they also help put the events on. And without all these companies, like Nitto and KMC, as you mentioned, we just can't do this race. They're the ones that really put out the funds for King of the Hammers to be there, and for the racers like me. Otherwise we'd be doing something on a much smaller scale.
All right. Well, here's a question. We'll put you on the spot. If you could make one change to King of the Hammers, anything you want for 2016, what would it be?
No problem. No, the thing is, as a driver, I really feel that Dave Cole has the best intentions to do the best he can, for the drivers. So I'm completely fine with leaving all that part in his hands. The promoter's got a tough job. They've got to make tough calls. I don't know what all goes on their end of things. So, I put my full faith and trust in them to put on the best race for us, the spectators, the sponsors. So basically all that I worry about is, what can I do? What can our team do to be better and be more prepared and have the best day possible that we can with the least amount of downtime. So, the thing is, we've gotten so close. We've been within a minute and a half of winning this race. We've just got to figure out how to have less downtime, less problems, which is more prep and great support. I pit with the Jimmy's guys, and there's just so many people that are involved in making everything come together. So it's just a few tweaks to that and making up a little time and having a good day and getting us a win finally.
Yeah, for sure. So, prep plans are already in place for 2016, right? You're already working towards it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the drive home, you think about that, what could we have done better? What could, have went better? What's a few crucial, moments that cost you some time that could have moved you up some spots? And, we had a rough day. That's probably my roughest day, King of the Hammers so far. It's like, I was out of the car myself 5 different times. We were in the pit 10 different times. We had a whole lot of issues. So, like I said, to finish 5th was good considering, but we definitely had aspirations to do better. So, that's what we're going to work on for next year. I'll have the same car to race at King of the Hammers next year. So, when I look at it, I've got a full year to and adjust it and try to really be ready for the race next year. But in the meantime, we're going to focus on this year's races and try to get some event wins and some series championships and just do the best we can do.
All right. Well, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank? Anybody and where can people find out more information on you and your race program?
The main thing that we do is I've got a Derek West and Athlete page on Facebook. That's most of what I do, or hashtag Disco Derek. We try to do updates there. We've done a whole building of the new car and just kind of everything that we do, some day-to-day stuff. As far as who I'd like to thank is all the people that helped me get there. Like I said, all the Jimmy's guys that helped me get the car built and helped us pit, and Randy Rod with Jimmy's. I wouldn't be racing if it wasn't for him. He's just helped me along the way for the last 7 years now and kept me doing this and got me involved with great companies like Netto Tire and KMC Wheels, and, Spider Tracks, Radflow, North Star Battery, AEM, Infinity. We've got new control systems on the car that we're tuning, so we can do a lot more engine management stuff. And we're really getting into some high-end stuff, which is fun, and it really helps us figure out what the car's doing and how to make adjustments. And I'm doing that with Show Me Speed. As far as getting all our engines here. And, it's funny, when I started this, we had junkyard engines we just put in, and the guy would flash a tune in it, and off we went. And man, has it changed.
Yeah.
So,
Some of the technology in the Ultra 4 cars now, to me, I race a trophy truck, and it's still mind-blowing, some of the stuff you guys are doing and some of the stuff you're going over the top of. I mean, you look at it and go, how could somebody conceivably actually drive up that, but yet you guys are doing it?
It's funny. I've done this a long time, and I've won 2 We Rock National Championships and did competitive rock crawling for a long time, and there's still obstacles that will go up, and, I'm just like, how does that do that? So I'm still amazed myself, and, it's part of what makes it so fun, that we can, I told some people that, if people could really fathom what we just did on Friday and what that course was, how far we went, and how many rocks we went over, and it's pretty incredible, and it amazes me, that how the cars stay together. Like I said, you've got to have the best stuff on your car, or you're not going to make it. And you've got to know how to take care of it. But, that was 215 miles of just brutal, rough stuff everywhere, and it was such a great accomplishment.
Yeah, for for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, and good luck the rest of this season. Maybe we'll catch up with you later on the season and see how things are going.
All right, sounds great. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, thanks a lot, Derek.
Uh-huh.
All right, that was Derek West, King of the Hammers racer, also one of my KMC Wheels teammates. Got to give a shout-out to him. But top 5 at King of the Hammers in a brand-new car. I got to tell you, man, quite an accomplishment. 30-day build, and I kind of kept progress on their Facebook page about kind of things are going on. And got to tell you, solid effort for those boys. Top 5 at King of the Hammers. In a car that's proven is a big deal. There's a lot of guys that have never taken a top 5, at King of the Hammers. Brand new car straight out of the box. Solid effort for those guys. Great having Derek on air. And go and check out his athlete page over there on Facebook, Derek West. Lots of cool stuff they're uploading, and great having him on air. Speaking of King of the Hammers, obviously you guys know it happened over this weekend, one of the biggest, baddest races of the year. I got to tell you, Dave Cole and the boys over there at King of the Hammers, they do an amazing job of putting it on. The live stream is top notch. I mean, they've created an Indy 500 type event for the off-road community, and if you're into rocks and Jeeps, I mean, it is the pinnacle event. But your winner, your 2015 winner of the King of the Hammers, Randy Slauson, Eric Miller taking up second, Levi Shirley in third, Waylon Campbell fourth, Derek West in fifth. We had Lucas Murphy in sixth, Cody Wagner seventh, John Cagliero in eighth, Tony Pellegrino in ninth, and Mike Colville rounding out your top 10. Couple of notables down there. Looking at Shannon Campbell. Everybody wants to always keep track of Shannon. He was a DNF. Looking at this, only 17 cars finished the race. So also TJ Flores, he was a DNF. Rob McCachran, a DNF. So, a lot of big guys. Lauren Healy, your defending champ, he was a DNF. We're talking some big-name drivers in Ultra 4, not finishing this event. And, the attrition rate was just insane at King of the Hammers this year. And that was King of the Hammers on Friday, your Friday race, but we also had Everyman Challenge results. Everyman Challenge, this is, the event before the event, right? And you can qualify in, but your Everyman overall finishers, Brandon Curry taking the win, Ben Napier in second, Ben Dinkins in third, Luke Johnson, Ricky Johnson, our next guest, his son taking home a fourth, and Jordan Townsend rounding out your top 5. Ricky Johnson down there ninth overall, but going down to class, Brandon Curry taking the 4,500 modified class win. 4,600 Pro Comp stock class went to Matthew Peterson. And your 4,700 spec class, Luke Johnson taking the win. Ricky Johnson in second place. And then your 4,800 Legends, Ben Napier taking home the win in there. So that rounds out your results. We also have some Polaris Razor results for the King of the UTVs, and Mitch Guthrie taking home the win. We're gonna have to get Mitch Guthrie on air sometime soon. This kid is just amazing. Dean Bullock in second. Third went to John Crowley. Chad Hughes rounding out your fourth place position, and a lot of big names down there not finishing. Only one finisher in the amateur class. That was Cody Curry. Big shout out to him for finishing, the only finisher in the amateur class. That is a big deal. So that is your Polaris Razor UTV results, and got to give a shout out to everybody involved with the King of the Hammers putting on an amazing event. Just solid. Polaris Razor for stepping up with the UTVs. Smittybilt Everyman Challenge. And everybody involved with King of the Hammers. A lot of desert drivers, coming out. I would love the opportunity to race at some point. Just a great event. So, looking forward to next year. Already looking forward to next year. Hopefully I can make it out next year if we don't have any, anything coinciding with the Parker 425. But a great event. Speaking of other great events, UTV World Championship coming up in about 2 weeks from now. And I got to tell you, it's shaping up to be probably the biggest UTV event in history. I'm just looking at a lot of these partners, sponsors getting involved. Anybody that wants to go out there, I believe Golden Nuggets Harrah's has some great room rates, but utvworldchampionship.com. Go and check it out. Polaris heavily involved in that. I'll be airing live from the Polaris booth on Friday. Also on Saturday, we'll be streaming Down and Dirty Radio Show live on utvunderground.com. I believe Scott Rain, a lot of you know him from the Torque series, he will be my partner in crime on air. So it should be a great event, and got to thank Polaris RZR for making that happen. So we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, Ricky Johnson's going to be calling into the air. Got to look forward to that, having the legend Ricky Johnson on air. So, you got any questions for Ricky, make sure and hit me up at JimBeaver15. You are listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, Snocross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com. Dirtfish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you're looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, Dirtfish is the place for you. Dirtfish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, Dirtfish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at Dirtfish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, Dirtfish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dirtfish Rally.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? Jmar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, Jmar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit Jmar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Jmar Brakes. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, powered by Polaris Razor, and anywhere is possible with General Tires. And did you know, for 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. All right, so we just got done with Derek West on air talking some Ultra 4, and our next guest up is the legend, Ricky Johnson. He's going to be calling in. We're going to talk Ultra 4 and also probably find out his 2015 plans. I want to put him on the spot. I've heard a lot of things brewing, and I got to tell you, I want to know what Ricky's going to be doing in 2015, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. So let's see if we can get any information out of him when he calls in. But, big weekend. I mean, this has got to be one of the biggest off-road weekends of the year. I mean, Ultra 4, you got the Best in the Desert kickoff. Speaking of General Tire, big shout-out to my buddy Harley Lettner, Parker native from Parker, Arizona, knows the course as well as anybody, and taking home that victory in Class 1500 on General Tires. So got to give a big shout-out to Harley, battling through the field and putting home a solid finish for Team GT. So that's always good news. See those red labels on top of the box. But, we're going to get to full Best in the Desert results later on in the show, especially when we have Gary Weyhrich, your overall winner, on air calling in. But right now, this first hour, it is all Ultra 4. And, this event this event is crazy. I mean, it's become like this mystical event. I mean, very rarely does an event in less than 10 years grow to this magnitude. The Mint 400, we talk about how big it's blown up, but I mean, this is an event that literally is like 40 years old at this point. Parker 425, darn near that old as well. Baja 1000, it usually takes events a long time. I mean, to garner that type of, following. I mean, the only other thing I could think of, maybe the Monster Energy Cup in Supercross, how in just a couple of years it's blown up, but Monster's throwing millions of dollars at it. Literally, if you win, it's $1 million. I mean, it becomes a Super Bowl when you get that kind of payout. But it's pretty wild. It really is. And Dave Cole, you gotta give the guy credit. Talk about a mastermind to be able to see a vision, create it, implement, and this short a time make it happen. And, it's, solid effort by him and the entire Ultra 4 racing crew. And King of the Hammers really overshadows the entire series because, I mean, they have an East Coast series. They've got a West Coast series. They run a lot of events all across the country. And everybody kind of forgets about them because King of the Hammers has become so big. I would say IndyCar is kind of like that as well. Indy 500, it's like the world stopped for the Indy 500, but, everybody forgets that the IndyCar series is so much bigger than that. But, I can tell you, it being like the Indy 500, it's what would you rather be, the IndyCar champion, or would you rather be an Indy 500 champion? And talking about Ultra 4, I think is that way. Do you want to be the Ultra 4 champion, or would you rather be a King of the Hammers champion? I'm saying that most drivers would rather be a King of the Hammers champion. Kind of like off-road racing. I'd rather say I won the Mint 400 than the Best in the Desert Trick Truck Championship, or the Baja 1000 than the Score Trophy Truck Championship. It's kind of weird how these races can define careers. Daytona 500, the same thing. You win 5 times at Martinsville, nobody cares. You win 1 time at the Daytona 500, you're a legend. It's just it's weird the way motorsports and events take on that. I don't know what the right word for it is, but if I'm just rambling on, you tell me. But if you got any questions, already getting some questions roll in for Ricky Johnson at Jim Beaver 15. Hit me up if you've got some questions for Ricky. He'll be calling in just a minute or two. Definitely looking forward to his Down and Dirty Radio Show debut. And then don't forget, hour number 2 kicks off. We got Gary Weyhrich on air, and then we're gonna have Ami Houde on catching up with Supercross from San Diego. She was on ground in San Diego, and she's got a lot of news for us. I got to tell you, man, Supercross, it's shaping up to be one of the best seasons in recent memory. Heck of a points battle in the 450s, with Ryan Villapoto bowing out. It's definitely opened up the door, and a lot of hungry riders. Dungy, Roxon, you name it. There's so many guys in the hunt. Kennard, Anderson's been solid here and there. It's, Chad Reed, you can never let the veteran, leave the veteran out. But definitely a great season of Supercross. And I got to tell you, looking at the way the Parker 425 went down with Best in the Desert, I am pretty excited for Best in the Desert this year and desert racing. And I think the trophy truck field, we're as stacked as we've ever been. And, I got to tell you, almost 50 entries in trick truck at the Parker 425, the Mint 400. I know they're pushing for 60. That's their goal, 60 trick trucks. So I don't know if it can happen or not, but they're looking for these legendary numbers. I talked with the boys at the 425, and they're expecting one of the biggest races in off-road history. So, that should definitely get you going, and especially you UTV fans, you got two bangers lined up in the World Championship, and then the Mint 400. I mean, back-to-back, two ones you definitely want to win if you're a UTV racer. So you guys are going to be pulling double, triple duty there, getting your razors back together, trying to get over to the Mint after the UTV Championship. But definitely a solid month of February. Mix in some Rally America, some World Rally Championship, more Supercross, and Snocross. I mean, we had an event there over the weekend. Talking Snocross, Tucker Hibbert obviously continuing on his winning ways, but we've had some young guns step up this year and try and dethrone Tucker. So it's definitely been solid. Speaking of that, I guess we can skip over and talk a little Snocross while we wait for Ricky to call in. But we'll go down here to Pro Lights to start things off, and if I can find these results. Pro Light right here, round number 9 in Pro Light, and man, these young guns, it's been pretty cool to watch this season. But Ryan Springer took home your win. Travis Mueller in second. Corey Watkinson third. Andrew Carlson fourth. And Trevor Layton in fifth. Then the second round of Pro Lights over the weekend. They're in New York, battling out in New York. Ryan Springer with the win again. James Johnstad, Elias Ishuel, who's had a solid year for Warnert Racing. Andrew Carlson and Maxime Talifer taking home that win. So moving up to round 9, and man, what a time for your computer to freeze, right, when you're going through results. But Tucker Hibbert taking a win, getting back to his winning ways. Ross Martin with a second. Logan Christian, Tim Tremblay, and Corin Todd rounding out your top 5. And then moving up to Pro Open, round 10, and it was once again Tucker Hibbert. Tucker just an animal. He obviously he didn't like getting losing those rounds, and he's back to his winning ways again. But Tucker Hibbert, Ross Martin, Tim Tremblay, Logan Christian, Adam Reinheim, and Justin Broberg. That would be your top 6, I guess. Kyle Pauline on the Lavallee sled, and Andrew Leaders 7th and 8th. So right now your national point standings for Pro Open, obviously Tucker Hibbert, he's out front through 10 rounds. Tim Tremblay, a distant second. Ross Martin, Kyle Pauline, and Logan Christian. So right now we got three-way battle for second and third, but Tucker looks like he's well on his way to another national championship. Looking at the Pro Light event, or the Pro Light standings, and Ryan Springer with those wins taking the first spot. Trevor Layton in second. Elias Ishuel, Andrew Carlson, and Travis Mueller rounding out your top 5. But right now it's anybody's game. I mean, all top 5 got a shot at that points battle in the Pro Light. So the Amsoil Championship Snocross Series definitely shaping up to be a great one in Pro Light. I know a lot of these guys are pretty hungry and wanting to take down Tucker Hibbert. So we got a few rounds of racing left. We've got looks like we've got Chicago, February 20th and 21st. We got 27th and 28th. We've got the event up there in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and then Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, going to round things out same weekend as the Mint 400 in March. So 3 rounds left. Lights title on the line. Tucker Hibbert well on his way to a national championship, and I think it's about time we catch up with Danny Medine sometime soon and get Danny on air and and get her take on things. See what she thinks. See how things are shaping up in the world of snowcross. I think she's going to be out in Chicago on ground, so we're definitely going to have to catch up with her before or after that event. I know she's been busy. A lot of things happening in in her side of things. So definitely be a good time to catch up with her. And as you know, she's our resident snowcross expert. So great event of the snowcross season. I think over the winter that's the only thing going on. Everybody's really into snowcross, and then Supercross kicks off-road rally, and a lot of people kind of tend to forget about snowcross. But great battle going on in Pro Light right now. 3 rounds left. Anybody's battle in Pro Light. Tucker Hibbert, the legend, continuing to break records, continue his winning ways. I mean, I think he's going to win as long as he wants to compete. It's as simple as that. But speaking of snowcross, Red Bull announcing a new event with Levi LaValle. It's called Snow Boundaries. Not no boundaries, snow boundaries. Get the pun there? Well, what it is, it's an epic snowmobile race. It combines snowcross, ice racing, cross country racing. It's pretty unique. Unique event. I know, go to Levi LaValle's Facebook page or any of his social media. I'm sure Red Bull's got it up on theirs, but literally I just got the information just a bit ago, right before we went on air. Haven't had a chance to read through it, but we'll see what I can come up with, for you guys. But it's just a unique event. I know Levi, talking with him before snowcross season, took a step back from that, said he's got some other projects to work on. But website is redbull.com/snowboundaries, designed to push each rider to their limits. A 30-mile loop. It's broken up into 3 different sections. 8 miles up and down Spirit Mountain. It's the resort where this is being held. 15 miles through the surrounding trails and forest, and then 7 miles across the frozen St. Louis River. They're going to have water skips, log crosses, rock chutes, bridge crossings, vertical climbs, a 2-day event, qualifying and time trials on Friday, finals on Saturday, women's class, men's class, legends class, ditch banger, racer 600. I got to tell you, this is going to be a wild event. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the way this shapes up. Maybe it's time to get Levi back on air, but it's going to be held March 27th through the 28th. Spirit Mountain Ski Resort, Duluth, Minnesota, and I got to tell you, man, it's going to be a wild one. Definitely looking forward to that. It's another one of those Red Bull events that is just completely out of the box thinking, and you got to love the way Red Bull tends to do things like that. Step completely out of the box. And they make things happen. So. Just pretty, pretty cool stuff. I mean, Red Bull, Frozen Rush, we've got, like I said, they made, racing on ice skates cool with crashed ice. They always are continually looking outside of the box. How can we push our athletes? How can we take motorsports to another level? And it looks like they've done it once again with Snow Boundaries. I'm looking forward to seeing an entry list, see who decides to take part in this. Obviously, Levi LaValle is going to be a huge part of that. I'm sure he'll be racing, but you want to, you got to, we're going to draw from, so many different fields there. Not only Levi, but in the snowcross boys, but there's a whole section of ice racers and hill climbers and cross country riders, and you might even see some freestyle guys thrown in the mix as well. Because it's such a diverse challenge. The backwoods guys, the backcountry guys. I don't know if it's going to favor anybody in particular, but it's for sure going to be an epic event, definitely one you want to watch, and I'm sure they'll have it on TV at some point. Knowing Red Bull, they're going to live stream it as well. But definitely looking forward to that. I mean, it's going to be cool. Definitely going to be a cool event. So stoked to see that. I mean, it literally just dropped this morning. So if you're looking for more information on that, hit up Red Bull, hit up Levi LaValle. They're definitely going to have you dialed in with more information. Also, I guess as we wait for Ricky to call in, we'll get to some Parker 425 unofficial results. Don't have the official results on tap yet, but we'll definitely get to some two-lapper results here. Class 1808, your winner and overall winner of the two-lap classes was Jim Bunn. Billy Bunch, first in class 3700. He was second overall in the two-lappers. First in class 1700 Jeep Speed was Garrett Aldred. Moving down, any other winners? No, that was all your winners in the two-lap classes. Remember, bikes and UTVs raced earlier in the month in the Parker 250. So we don't have any of those results to share with you guys. But Gary Weyhrich, obviously, he took home the overall victory. Luke McMillan, a close battle with him and Gary Weyhrich. Luke taking home that second spot. I got to tell you, Luke, I from what I understand, he got a flat within about 10 miles out, tried to make it to the finish line. About 4 miles from the finish, he had to get out and change it because he didn't think he was going to make it. And I'm sure that ended up costing him the victory. Only about 4 points separating him and Gary, but Gary, the overall winner. Luke's solid effort by him. Great to see the Herbst boys up there in third place, third overall, third in Trick Truck. Tim Herbst, Larry Rossler, Harley Lettner, General Tire driver. He was in fourth. We'll see if we can get Harley on air next week. I don't know if we've ever had him on air before. It's been a long time if we have. Sean Kroll finish up in fifth. Steve Ologis, sixth overall. Fifth in Trick Truck, Brian Wilson, seventh overall in the 1500 car. Cody Parkhouse, Todd Tools, and Corey Kesar rounding out your top 10 overall, going down to 6100. Brett Serapis, the Serapis boys, kids having a great showing in 6100. Yet another win for them. Ray McKenzie in second in a 6100. Moving down to Class 8000, McCrae Glass and Kurt LeDuc. From what I understand, McCrae ran the first lap, Kurt LeDuc the next two. Solid effort by them, though. Jason Voss, another notable defending champ. He was down there in 19th overall. Also, Class 10 winner, Steve Melton from Buckeye. He's won this event before. He's very efficient at Parker. Gary Messer taking home the 7,200 victory. Moving down to 2,400, it was Tim Carolyn with the win. Moving even further down, Class 6,000 was Todd Jackson. Taking home the win there. And is that all we have for winners? No, we got Class 1100, Bob Elio with a win. And Class 2000, Brittany Myers with the win. Got to give it up for the lady taking home the win there. And that may be it for the winners. Yes, that is it for the winners. So big congrats to all our winners. Just yet another great. Event put on by Best in the Desert. Some big notables, though, I do have to say, news coming away from that. And I got to tell you, all these results brought to you by our good friends at General Tire, where anywhere is possible. Definitely use the hashtag anywhere is possible when tweeting pictures of your General Tires, or use @General Tire and tweet your photos and tag them and let them share and let them see what kind of fun you're doing. All these results brought to you by General Tire. But, Casey folks announcing two major changes to the calendar in 2016. One, Vegas to Reno. It's the 20th anniversary of Vegas to Reno. He made the announcement that it will be a very special Vegas to Reno. Didn't elaborate, but said it will be unlike any Vegas to Reno we've ever seen before. So I got to say, me personally, I'm hoping it's a Reno to Vegas. I hate getting up to Reno and then have to turn around and come all the way back. I'd rather start in Reno and come to Vegas and only have a 2.5 hour drive home. But I'm sure that's not it. But he did announce that Vegas to Reno would be very, very special in 2016 for its 20th anniversary. Casey also mentioned that there will be a new event on the calendar in 2016. It sounds like it's going to be a marquee type event. No idea what it's going to be, but it sounds like there is going to be a marquee event on the calendar in 2016 for Best in the Desert, a new event that has never been put on before. and that news is going to be dropping in the next couple of months. So definitely stay tuned to that. But you desert racing fans, Casey folks, making it happen. Another new event to the Best in the Desert calendar. Always got to look forward to that, man. Casey always stepping up the game, and you can tell by entry numbers he's on point, man. Parker 425. I don't think we broke records, but definitely a great one. I'm looking at here at some of the notes from the event. The contingency on Friday, you rally fans would know it as Park Expose. It's called contingency in off-road world. One of the largest contingency crowds in recent memory, probably aside from the Mint 400 down on downtown Fremont. I know with the downtown experience that we had where I put on the Pit Crew Challenge, got to give it out for the Menzies boys, Pete Mortensen and everybody from the Menzies and Jones team who took the Pit Crew Challenge championship. We got a video dropping later on this week on that, but I think we had well over 5,000 fans. I know I was hearing from people, hey, we need more bleachers, we need more seating. When you run out of seats, you did a good thing. So, congrats goes out to them. But all in all, huge event. I don't know if we'll ever get a total head count. I'm going to estimate 35 to 40,000 total fans at the Parker 425 over the weekend. Hotels sold out. It's crazy. I mean, McDonald's had a line, wrapped around the block 3 times. So go figure. Best in the Desert, making things happen. And, and congrats to Gary Weyhrich for battling from 15th all the way up to the lead. Took him a few laps to do it, but he made things happen. We'll definitely catch up with him. And, waiting on Ricky Johnson to call in, and it looks like we may be missing Ricky today. I know he was planned to call in, but the way things look, we may be missing Ricky. So we'll just keep on rolling on, and I guarantee you if we missed him today, we'll definitely have him on air next week. So I'll have to reach out to him, but he definitely deserves a solid interview. And at this point, we're running pretty low on time. Got to give a shout out though. Also, 100 Acre Wood, rally in the 100 Acre Wood. We'll get into some Dirtfish Rally report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. And Rally America in the 100 Acre Wood. It's definitely become one of the marquee events on the Rally America calendar, and I'm looking at this entry list, and it's huge. Also, before we get into that, go to www.100aw.org. With Ken Block entering ACP, we've got a lot of big-name drivers showing up. Fans are going to be coming out in thick. They need more help. So if you're in Missouri, if you're in the area, 100aw.org. They need extra volunteers, more help to make things happen. They're worried about the crowd, so, if you've got the time, if you want to volunteer, they could definitely use you. 100aw.org is the website. Go and volunteer. Help make this event one of the best ever. But looking at the list, like I said before, Adam Yeoman, he's going to be back, and I'm just going to go through some notables. Most of the big names you guys know already. Nick Roberts, he's going to be back. But a big one, Ken Block, his name is on the entry list now. The head hoonigan will be competing. Also, Steve LaRosa, off-road driver, switching over to rally. He's going to be back. He's going to be in a 2014 Ford Fiesta ST. Looking forward to seeing how Steve LaRosa does. Going to have to catch up with him on air sometime and talk about his switch to rally racing. But very cool to see him in a factory Ford. Obviously, we mentioned Ken Block a minute ago. ACP, he's going to be in a 2014 Ford Fiesta ST. So looking forward to seeing Andrew Comrie-Picard back in action. So I'm telling you, you mix in David Higgins and the Subaru boys, and it's shaping up to be one heck of an event. That's February 27th through the 28th, 2015. I'll be there hosting Rally America Radio and various other things. You guys want to tune into that. But, if you're in the area, if you're going out to spectate, why don't you just go ahead and volunteer? 100aw.org is the website, and volunteer. I got to tell you, you'll feel good about yourself, and you get a chance to get up maybe even a little closer to the drivers, but you're definitely going to be helping out Rally America and all the people behind the scenes at the 100 Acre Wood Rally. So, definitely hit them up and, and get on that. And, really, that was our Dirtfish Rally report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. So we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, Gary Weyhrich is going to be calling in, and we're going to be talking Best in the Desert Parker 425. Thanks to all of you for staying tuned. Sorry we missed Ricky Johnson, but we'll get him next week, I promise you. And, it's, been a great show thus far. And 2 more big guests, Gary Weyhrich, Ami Houde. It's going to happen. Hour number 2 coming up. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. And I am Jim Beaver. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker and a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Okay, when you're on the job, you're making tough decisions around the clock. Well, here's an easy one. Ford F-Series. Under the hood, F-Series trucks have the power and fuel efficiency you need. Translation? You can always tackle the toughest jobs without losing a fortune at the pumps. But it's not just all brawn and no brains. F-Series trucks also have a cutting-edge selection of smart technology that keeps you connected, focused, and informed, all while behind the wheel. That's why, on average, every 42 seconds, someone forks over their hard-earned cash to get a new F-150 or Super Duty. No wonder they're the best-selling brand of trucks in America for 37 years in a row. The competition never stood a chance. Ford F-150, Ford Super Duty. #1 for 37 years straight. Not convinced? Get behind the wheel of an F-150 or Super Duty and decide for yourself. Go online to your local FordDealers.com, then visit your Arizona Ford dealer for a test drive today. Based on U.S. sales from October 2012 through October 2013.
The #1 off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet now has its own app. The Down and Dirty Radio Show official app is now available in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and Amazon Kindle Store. Just search Down and Dirty Radio Show, and you'll have all the latest news, results, and blockbuster interviews from off-road, rally, drifting, Supercross, and Snocross at your fingertips. Hours of interviews from the best drivers and athletes on Earth, such as Travis Pastrana, Ken Block, Tanner Faust, Brian Deegan, Robbie Gordon, and Jolene Van Vliet are yours at the touch of a button. Download today and never miss an interview again.
Did you know that Parker Motor Company is one of the best places to shop for new tires for your car or truck? With a full tire shop and advanced equipment, we can outfit your vehicle with over 13 brands of tires, including Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Falcon, and General. We offer a low price guarantee that will meet or beat any competitor's price. We'll check your alignment for free, and we also offer tire care for any road hazards you may come across. If you need new tires, Parker Motor Company is your only choice. Parker Motor Company, your hometown Ford and Lincoln dealer. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, anywhere as possible with General Tire, and powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and it looks like we've got our next guest already popping in. That is Mr. Gary Weyhrich. How's everything going, Gary?
Going great, Jimmy. Pretty excited about last weekend, that's for sure.
I got to say, dude, I was, if I can't win, it's always good to see, the Weyhrich boys taking a win, and it's got to be pretty exciting for you guys. I know you've won a lot of events in the past, but it's definitely been a while.
Yeah, we've had a lot of second and third place finishes the last couple of years between my brother and I, and our last trick truck win was Vegas to Reno in 2012, and a lot of close calls since then, a lot of hard work, and a lot of broken hearts sometimes. And to have it come through, I can't tell you, it was pretty darn exciting.
Yeah, and it came down to a nail biter. I mean, you and Luke McMillan having a pretty good battle there at the finish. I think it came down to a matter of 3 or 4 minutes type of thing. So it definitely wasn't an easy one.
Yeah, when I came to Midway on the last lap the second time, my guy said it was like a minute and a half. And that I was ahead of Luke, so we just both laid it down, and it sounded like Luke had a flat with just a couple miles to go, so that made it grow to that 4-minute margin.
Yeah. Well, talking about that, I know, you guys behind the scenes do a lot for off-road. I mean, we kicked things off that week, last week, and had the Pit Crew Challenge. You guys were involved in that. You guys darn near won it against Menzies, and then we go into the race, and what was it, 15th you started out?
Yeah, I started 15th, and, at Parker, I think that's a very bad spot. Let those guys up front dice it out and, hammer each other and just, sneak up in that last lap and come home and get them. Yeah,
for sure. And I think that's one thing about Parker, because, you and I both know the first lap, I mean, that sun coming up when you're running up the wash and in the dust and things like that. Sometimes you start, if you start number one, just a matter of 10 or 15 minutes, you can be in blinding sun. You start back about 15th, 20th, sometimes the sun's up just a little bit more and you can get a little more visibility. It's definitely tough. It's one of the toughest starts I think we have all year just because we're running into that blind sun.
Yeah, I mean, Osborne Wash is tough in and of itself with the rocks and the trees and everything, and then the blinding sun. Like my goal was just to kind of lay behind the guy that started in front of me, and not run in this dust. Wait till we got out of that wash and running away from the sun to actually kick it up and try and catch him.
Yeah. Well, in talking about that, I know, obviously there for a long time you guys were campaigning some geyser trucks, and you guys, brought some of the manufacturing in-house, built your own truck from scratch. And I know talking with you guys, you said you weren't ever going to run the new truck until it was as fast as the geysers. I know between you and your brother, right, there's still one of the Tisco-built trucks, and you're still running one of the geysers, right?
Yeah, I actually run the Geyser, but at the Baja 1000, Mark and I split our new truck, and I started the race, and we had a mechanical failure kind of early in the race, but driving it, I realized that I think it's probably faster than our Geysers. So we sold one Geyser, and my truck's on the jig getting built right now. They're super fast. We got some different technology in them, and I'm super excited to get it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, talking about this year, I know, off-road, you and I, a lot of us have talked in the trophy truck community, and we're kind of in a weird crossroads. We're lucky enough that we have two major series, both Best in the Desert and Score, that put on some amazing events. But it's hard because we don't have really a true championship that encompasses the biggest events of the year. So, I mean, what are some of your plans this year for 2015? Because I know you and Mark have both kind of been vocal about just going to run the big races and the races you guys want to run, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big effort to do even one race, as you well know. So we were kind of looking at doing what we think are like the 5 big ones, which would be Parker, the Mint, the Baja 500, Vegas to Reno, and the Baja 1000. But, winning this race, if the Mint goes well, we might actually take one truck and campaign for Best in Desert points.
Yeah, for sure. So, talking about that, a lot of races. I mean, you and Mark, aside from the 1,000, you're going to run pretty much separate trucks most of the year. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I mean, nowadays, they're not as fatiguing as they used to be, and I think changing drivers, if it doesn't go right, can take quite a while. Our pit crew is amazing. I mean, they're getting us out so fast that there's no way that we could change drivers and do a pit stop that fast. And so usually because of our crew and not changing drivers, every pit stop we get around somebody.
Yeah, and you guys, anybody that's watching any of the pit crew challenges, you guys are dialed and on point. And I know, your guys, they take that serious. I know they definitely practice after hours and things like that and get those pit stops dialed in.
Yeah, it's hard to even get a good drink of water with these guys these days.
Yeah, for sure. So, talking about trophy truck. I mean, you guys, started out in the Class 1. You guys have been just about, I don't know. I don't want to say every class in off-road, but you guys have definitely worked your way up through the ranks. But, let's talk back, to the move from Class 1 to trophy truck. Because I know, in the early 2000s, I mean, you guys were pretty solidified as the, one of the top, Class 1 teams in the game. And, what prompted the move to trophy truck? Because you guys were pretty dialed in the Class 1 ranks.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while. And, frankly, a lot of the really competitive Class 1 guys were making the switch at that time. And we really like racing against the McMillans and, McCacker and all those guys. And we actually drove a trophy truck just on a test one day and realized how cool they were and how much better they rode and how much faster they went, and decided to go try it out and see what we thought, And so for the first year, Mark campaigned a Geyser trophy truck, and I stayed in Class 1 to let him just dial it in. And then after that, somebody else's truck came available, so we bought that. And, it took a while to learn how to drive a truck. It definitely drive different. And, once I got used to it, I'm glad that I made the switch.
Yeah, and here's a question, because we've had, this debate on the show a lot, and I think, even Justin Lofton, who just moved into trophy truck, is, he was one that was finally sold on the trophy truck. But I mean, you've got as much experience as a buggy in a Class 1 car as anybody. I mean, is there any courses or any spot in a course where you still wish you had the Class 1 car, or is the trophy truck pretty much, just trumpet in just about all areas?
A few years ago, I would have probably said that, the Class 1 car in a really tight section would, easily stay with the truck. But, man, the courses get so rough nowadays, and the trucks are so reliable. And, I mean, the whole drivetrain's been improved significantly on them. The steering's been improved, which was, they always used to push really bad, but now we got that out of them. And, I think it's hard for a Class 1 to keep up. I mean, they're fast, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they can run as hard in the big stuff as we can, because parts failures in our trucks will just run all day like that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and talking about, trophy truck, I mean, we've all kind of seen the evolution of it. And, the technology that's going into these trucks now, I mean, even, I look back when mine was built, 2005, 6-ish, and now we're going through and re-upgrading the brake systems and all the shocks and all these parts that at that point in time were the best you could get. And now, I mean, they're not even close. How do you feel the class as a whole is, the technology is gone. I mean, where do you think we're going to be in, say, 5-6 years? Because, I mean, you guys are pretty much, building your own trucks now. You're on the bleeding edge. I mean, what do you think is next?
Man, I don't know. I mean, look at what Josh Daniel did with the turbo. I think that's pretty cool. But, I mean, everything is so good. It's amazing how hard we can run those trucks. Even 4 or 5 years ago, we ran a truck that hard, it was going to fail. Now the pace is just so fast, and you beat those trucks so hard, and they just accept it. So with our new truck, we came up with a couple new things that, I'm not really want to talk about yet. I want to wait and make sure we have our ducks in a row. But we did a couple new things that, just looking at it, you probably can't see it. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to get beyond where we're at unless it's something super significant,
Yeah. Well, and here's a question for you. I mean, obviously with these new trucks, you guys got them dialed in, and you're on to your second one. Is this something that you're going to keep in house with Tisco for you and Mark, or is this something that you guys are looking at, possibly building for other teams?
Well, it's one of those deals that if we have a real competitive advantage, we'll probably keep it in house for a while. But we truly would like to manufacture these. And we've actually talked to a few drivers that are interested. We let a couple of drivers test our truck already, and they seem really excited about it. And, So it might turn into a little business for us, that would be great for the sport.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, with the amount of entries, we almost had 50. I believe the Martellis are predicting 60 for the Mint. I think, we've got two major manufacturers, I guess maybe three now. And with you guys, I definitely think there's room for more manufacturers. And, the worst thing we want to see is a spec series where everybody's driving the exact same truck.
Yeah, it's been nice to see Jimco and Racer come along and build some new trucks. Nothing wrong with Geyser, but it was a spec class there for a while, and I think racing's more interesting if you have more manufacturers involved.
Yeah, for sure. So, talking about the Mint, that's the next big one up. I know you guys have been pretty darn close at, before. The Mint 400, I know they're changing it up. The course now, instead of 4 100-mile laps, you're going to be doing like 3 125-mile laps. What's it going to take to win the Mint 400? Because, as rough as Parker gets, the Mint is just absolutely the most brutal race we race all year long.
Yeah, when you get 50 or 60 trucks, though, it seems like somebody's going to go clean and go fast. And so it's almost like you got to take a few chances and just, run a pretty hard pace anymore because, like I say, somebody is going to make it. And there's too many guys out there for all of them to have a problem. So I'll probably run it like Parker where, I'll pick my first, pick through the first lap and just make sure I can see the course because we can't pre-run it and know what direction it goes and stuff. And then the second 2 laps, just lay it down as hard as we can.
Yeah. Well, and I got to ask you, I know you guys have always been very, very safety conscious, and out of all the teams, you guys have kind of led the way in crew safety and pit crew safety. How do you feel about these new announcements by Best in the Desert on, some of the fueling rules and safety rules they're now implementing?
I think it's great. Especially with the fueling. Fire is scary, and I think it's probably all of our biggest fear. And we were like the first team to actually put all of our crew in full fire gear, helmets, and everything. And I know it's going to be expensive for a lot of teams, and for some it's going to be hard to afford to do it. But all it takes is one accident, and not only is somebody hurt very badly, but it's another black eye in our sport. And that, from talking to like Casey, that's what's going to kill the sport is, these accidents that can be overcome just by putting on some safety gear and making sure people are using the proper fueling systems. Some of these home-built fueling systems are frankly scary, and so I think they should be approved by somebody. So I think it's great. I think it's going to move our sport forward. It makes us all look way more professional, and so I think it's great.
Yeah, and talking with Mark last night, I know him and I were texting back and forth on a few things, and I think, it's definitely a huge step in the right direction. I know, you and your brother both, I believe, before you got into off-road, raced like Formula cars, right? Like Formula Ford, and you guys know, there's licensing in just about every form of motorsport there is except for off-road racing. Yeah,
and I still feel that because you have the money, you shouldn't be able to just jump into a trophy truck. I think you should take a season and do a Class 10 or even a Class 1 car, because there's a lot of things to learn, and you see a lot of rookie mistakes out there, especially at Parker. One of the big things I see is, these guys buy these trucks and then they get out there and have a problem, and they just park it in the middle of the road. Well, guys like me and you know that you start having a problem, get the heck off the road and get out in the desert, because we have these terrible accidents because you come around a corner and there's a car parked in the middle of the road because the guy, he had a parts failure, but usually you're still moving, so just push it off out in the desert and get off the course. And I think going in a slower class, you'll learn a lot more about everything in desert racing.
Yeah, well, I can speak from experience because Saturday, that's what happened to me. Getting ready to pass a car, and he stopped dead in the course. I clipped him and barrel rolled the truck. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I know you guys have had encounters as well, and definitely something. I wish off-road community as a whole, we could get together with the sanctioning bodies and some type of education process at least.
Yeah, I know Casey's tried with Kurt LeDuc doing some stuff, but I don't really know about the whole process, but I think it should be a class that you have to go to and be signed off or something. I had to go to, I've been racing since I was 16 years old, and I went to road racing for a while. I had to go through all the schools, even though I knew what I was doing. And it wasn't a bad process to go through.
Yeah. You ever have any itch to do anything other than off-road desert racing? Maybe try short course or some rally racing, or are you pretty happy with the desert stuff?
I'm pretty happy with it. Short course definitely looks like a lot of fun, and qualifying at SEMA at the Baja 1000. We did part of the track was a short course track there, and it was fun, But for us, the resources to do both is an awful lot, and so we've kind of chosen to stick with desert racing.
Yeah. Well, and I know you've got some kids coming up. I mean, I'm sure they're starting to get the itch to drive something.
Yeah, I went down actually and took my daughter down at Vegas to Reno and brought my pruner up and took her out in the desert, put her a couple hundred miles on with her, and she's pretty excited, and she's 17 years old, so she's looking forward to maybe trying to do it. And then my son is now 11, and he's starting to talk about it too, so I might have to start looking at like a 1-2-1600 car or something.
Yeah, I think, it's a solid platform to start out. I mean, look at some of the greats, and they've all come through the 1600 ranks. So, I don't think there's any better spot to start a kid out in for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got to learn how to drive those things. You can't just put your foot down. You have to drive them, and it's not like a trophy truck where they go over those big bumps. They have to make their way through them without putting that car on its lid all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So, talking about short course, I know some of the changes of the Mint. I think we may be running through the short course there at Prim. So, that's gotta get us a little bit excited. Change things up. Sounds like the Martelli's doing a great job to kind of push things forward with that event.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I mean, I had a ball at the SEMA deal. I wish I could have just sat there all night and done a short course track. It was super fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and you and I have been around the sport long enough. I mean, we remember the days of the pill draw, and and you never know who's going to start first at at an event, and you may be the fastest guy, but you may be starting 50th. How do you feel about qualifying as a whole? I mean, there's a lot of guys that hate it, a lot of guys that love it. I mean, where do you fall in there?
I think it's great. I think it's the only fair way to do it. I think there's a big safety factor there too, because say like someone really good draws number 60, well, he's going to have to pound his way through everybody, and that's not good for the guys he's passing or good for him, and get the fast guys out front, and it's just, I think it's a more fair system, more safe system, and plus I think it's a fun process too.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, I know I actually later on this year I get to go up to Oregon Trail Rally and do some hosting for Rally America, but any good roads up there in Oregon where we could possibly bring an off-road race up there or something? I know you guys would have to love it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my dad used to promote races in Central Oregon called Oregon Off-Road Racing Association, and over in Central Oregon by Bend, there's just, miles and miles and miles of high desert. There's a lot of cool roads up there, and I know someone right now up here is trying to get a race going, but they're having a little trouble getting permitting through BLM, but there's plenty of roads up here to race on.
Yeah, I know there's I think Pacific Northwest Off-Road Racing Association. They hit me up. They're running some stuff in the Northwest too. But I think it'd be awesome to see. It's one thing I'd love to see. I mean, we all race in Southern Nevada, California, Baja, Arizona. I'd like to see some more major events in places like maybe Utah or Texas or Oregon, and something out of the box once in a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, all these races are fun, but we all know what we're getting every time we go out, right?
Yeah.
It'd be fun to have some new experiences,
Yeah, for sure. Well, Gary, I gotta tell you, congratulations on the win. I appreciate you taking the time to call in. I know you guys are, you like me, you race on the weekends, and immediately Monday you're back to the grind and running a business and trying to make things happen so you can continue to race, right?
Yeah, I'm still looking at the emails right now. So
yeah, you leave. What's that?
I just want to thank you for everything you do, bud. That pit crew deal is great, and I love your radio show and what you do for off-road racing.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. And I think with the Pit Crew Challenge, I have to get with you and Mark because Casey approached me, and I think next year he'd like to add in another and us do like a Pit Crew Challenge points championship. It encompasses like 3 events or something. So I think it could be cool, a good thing for the crews, and definitely put something together that kind of gives back to some of these guys on our teams that don't get a lot of notoriety.
Yeah, I talked to Casey about that myself, and I think it's a great idea. I mean, I know our team loves it, and you talk to Mente's guys and several teams. They're like, man, it's so much fun to see all our crew get the attention, and we don't get any that night. That's what's so cool about it.
Yeah. Well, and the fans get into it, too. You would think, just 2 trucks sitting there on asphalt and guys changing tires wouldn't be exciting, but the fans get into it, man. And you can, it was like that final. I mean, there was the Menzies side, there was the Tisco side, and the fans were going crazy cheering for each one of you. And it's pretty cool, man. It's really cool. You've got to be there to experience it.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, that crowd was was like being at a hockey game or something. It was intense.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congrats on the win. Congrats to you and Mark and all the boys at the shop. I know it was a big thing, and here's hoping you can continue on 2015 and having a solid season.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to the Mint, that's for sure.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I think we're right at a month away, so not too much time to get these things prepped and turned around.
Yeah, exactly. That's for sure. Guys will be busy for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's an understatement. So, thanks a lot, Gary, for calling in, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
Okay, thanks, Jimmy.
All right, thanks. All right, that was Gary Weyhrich from Tisco Racing, Tube Specialties up there in Oregon. Also have their race shop down in Southern California. But always great catching up with him and his brother Mark. Two of the guys in off-road racing do a lot behind the scenes. I mean, they give back. I know with these pit crew challenges, I mean, they donate the equipment. We're using their impact guns or jacks and things like that. We've got it's pretty amazing what they do. I mean, they've been a sponsor of Vegas to Reno for a couple of years. When Casey didn't have a sponsor, they stepped in and said, hey, let's make this happen, and sponsored that for Best in the Desert. Just a good, solid core group of people, and definitely lucky to have them in off-road desert racing. So, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, our good friend Ami Houde, she is going to be calling in, and we're going to be breaking down that Supercross action from San Diego. So stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Dirtfish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you're looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, Dirtfish is the place for you. Dirtfish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, Dirtfish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at Dirtfish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, Dirtfish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dirtfish Rally. Looking to have some screen printing, embroidery, or design work done? Intense Tees has you covered. Intense Tees provides the highest quality and detail for custom screen printing and embroidery services for corporations, schools, race teams, and all organizations alike. Complete line creation, including designing of an entire corporate identity, product line creation, support promotions, product packaging, exciting banners, polos, tees, sweatshirts, caps, and vinyl decals. Intense Tees is the official apparel provider for the Down and Dirty Off-Road Show. Find out more on the web at www.intensetees.com. That's www.intensetees.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the two-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Okay, when you're on the job, you're making tough decisions around the clock. Well, here's an easy one. Ford F-Series. Under the hood, F-Series trucks have the power and fuel efficiency you need. Translation? You can always tackle the toughest jobs without losing a fortune at the pumps. But it's not just all brawn and no brains. F-Series trucks also have a cutting-edge selection of smart technology that keeps you connected, focused, and informed, all while behind the wheel. That's why, on average, every 42 seconds, someone forks over their hard-earned cash to get a new F-150 or Super Duty. No wonder they're the best-selling brand of trucks in America for 37 years in a row. The competition never stood a chance. Ford F-150, Ford Super Duty. #1 for 37 years straight. Not convinced? Get behind the wheel of an F-150 or Super Duty and decide for yourself. Go online to your local FordDealers.com, then visit your Arizona Ford dealer for a test drive today. Based on U.S. sales from October 2012 through October 2013.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire. And your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS, the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help you get where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. All right, just got done with Gary Weyhrich on air. Also had Derek West earlier on in the show. Missed out on Ricky Johnson. We're going to try and circle back with him, maybe snag him for next week. I know a busy guy like him, a motorsports legend. Sometimes he gets tied up. It's all excusable. Things happen once in a while, and we'll definitely snag him later on in the future. Definitely want to find out what the scoop is on his 2015 plans, find out where he's racing. Heard a little rumors of maybe some GRC. Heard rumors of obviously continue to run Pro 4, even Pro 2. All kinds of rumors circling. I want to nail him down. I want to find out. But as always, great seeing him run at King of the Hammers, first time ever, I believe, and taking home a second place to his son Luke. Kind of cool. But next up on the show, we got Ami Houde. She's going to be calling in, and we're going to be talking a little bit of Supercross. So always good catching up with Ami. She's kind of found a home here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Last 30 minutes of every day or every episode keeps you guys engaged, tuned in. And I got to tell you, Fantasy Supercross has been pretty epic this year. 300 plus of you have 300 plus of you have got in on Fantasy Supercross this year, and I got to tell you. There is what is there? I think 6 throwaway rounds, and I believe this is the last week to throw away an event. So if you're going to get in on Fantasy Supercross, you definitely want to do so ASAP, because the throwaway rounds are no longer after today. 313 of you is the exact total, but we still got room. Get in. This is the last week. No more throwing away racers, or no more throwing away riders after this week. But you definitely want to get in on the fun. We're giving away a set of KMC wheels, and also going to be giving away some Motorcycle Superstore gift cards. I know a lot of you waiting to get some thrown your way, and I'm sorry about that. You had a little mix-up. I've been busy. Obviously, Amy's been traveling. I've been all over the country. Michigan, at Snowdrift had the Parker 425. So it's definitely been a whirlwind couple of weeks for me. But we'll get you guys dialed and get those gift cards to you. But don't forget, year-end prize is a big one. A brand new set of KMC wheels. So you definitely want to get dialed in on that. We'll get those KMC wheels outfitted on your car if you're the winner. It's definitely been a fun season. I've played a lot of fantasy sports in the past. I got to tell you, got my start in radio doing a fantasy football show here locally in Parker, Arizona. So I run a fantasy football league, or did hand it over to somebody else, but still run a fantasy baseball league. Do fantasy Supercross, do fantasy surfing. Do a little everything. So, it looks like we've got Ami Houde calling in, and we're going to pick up Amy, though. How's everything going, Amy?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
I don't know if you can hear me okay, because this phone is not the best. I can barely hear myself.
No, I can hear you. You are loud and clear, and we got you dialed in.
Perfect. How's it going, race fans? How was everybody's weekend?
I don't know. I got to tell you, lots of stuff happening. I know we had Supercross, we had some King of the Hammers, some trophy truck racing, Snocross. We've had a bit of everything and covered it all on the show today. But right now, I'm ready to talk some Supercross. I gotta apologize. I didn't get to watch a race because I was actually racing this weekend. I guess that's the best excuse you can have, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll give it to you on that one. So,
but,
how did your racing go?
Not worth a darn.
Really?
Yeah, no. I know we haven't caught up. No, I went over 3 times. So definitely lucky I had a Hans device and a helmet on. So.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, you didn't miss too much. It was good racing, but it was pretty. Everybody kind of fell into position, and it was kind of boring. The main event. The racing this weekend, I thought was in practice. It was crazy. The track was extremely technical. Those rhythm sections. If your timing was even a little bit off, you were going down. So it took a lot of the riders, a while to get going and to kind of master the track. So I actually had a nice front row seat to a whole bunch of crashes in practice and in the B qualifier. So, but once the main came around, the boys had it all dialed in, and I kind of found the racing a little bit boring this weekend, so you didn't miss too much. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, the racing may have been boring, but I guess, I don't know, I don't want to bypass the 250s, but we need to skip right to 450s today. But the points championship is becoming pretty heated with the way things are shaping up, and I think that's exciting because, with Kennard taking that win and, Dungey and Roxon and Roxon finishing ahead of Dungey, we've got kind of a shootout brewing here.
Yeah, it came down to the last 7 laps where Kennard and Roxon were battling, and I have to give it to Kennard. I feel bad to say, but I didn't think he had it in him. I know when Ken turns it on, he doesn't make any mistakes, but Kennard was flawless last night. He had his head down. He was comfortable. He said he loved the venue, loved the track. And he had a spot-on night, and, congratulations to him. And, yes, now, like you're saying, the point is there's going to be a chase to the finish. It's going to come down to that last race in Vegas, I can tell. But, yeah, the 450 class was definitely one to watch, and I don't know if anybody had the chance to see the heat racing, but Reed happened to take out his teammate, and the whole stadium lit up, and all you could hear was boo! Oh my gosh, it was terrible. But I hate to say, but he might have had it coming to him that a little bit of payback and stuff. But it wasn't him, but it was his teammate. Still, you never want to see your teammate go down. You guys are both on the same team, so it was just pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely a weird deal, but this year is shaping up. The 450's got a heck of a battle, but let's skip back and talk a little bit of 250s because the story once again, Cooper Webb, taking yet another win.
Yeah, it was awesome. All things considering, he had a huge get-off in the qualifiers, crashed so bad, and I unfortunately missed it. I was busy working and filming in the pits, but I heard the whole pits are kind of talking about it because, he is the red plate holder, and he went down really hard. Check out Transworld's Instagram. They actually caught a photo of it. So, yeah, he wasn't doing too good in his heat race, and I thought he was just going to play it safe. But, that boy is one tough cookie, and he is like a locomotive, and he just, unstoppable. And it really did shake up the points for everybody else as well. Hill was out. Rumor has it that he might have broke his leg. Now, I don't know if that is a solid fact, but it was actually off-screen where he got caught up in the start and unfortunately DNF'd. And I hear that he might have broke his leg. So I have to keep you guys updated, and we'll have to follow up with that one. So hopefully he's okay. Stewart also DNF'd. He pulled back onto the track after his crash there, but I hear he knocked the wind out of himself really good. But unfortunately, he has a DNF as well, so that's totally going to shake things up. Those two riders were, in there for the top 5, so now things are going to be really, really different.
Yeah, and 3 rounds left of the West. Cooper Webb looks like a 30-point lead over Jesse Nelson. I mean,
it's done.
Yeah, unless there's an injury or something. I mean, Cooper, he's pretty much got it in the bag at this point, right?
Oh, for sure. And I don't want to say this, but I did see him walking off the track into the pits last night with his arm in a sling. So, I mean, he might have just, taken some Tylenol and put it all together to ride the main, but he's hurting, and he's going to have some time to recover now. So, luckily, there's a little bit of break for those guys. But, there's 3 more races left. They're going to put it all on the line. You've seen Zach Osborne race with a broken thumb. Obviously, Cooper was hurt, and he finished with a win. So these guys are holding nothing back. They're going to take all risks and chances now. But, I think the talk of the town is the East Coast. There is a stacked lineup. There are so many fast guys on the East Coast. I am so excited to watch. I think it's going to be better than the West Coast for sure. There's so many top guys. Honestly, there's going to be probably a change up in the podium positions every single weekend. Have you taken a look at the lineup?
No, I was actually just thinking about that because I know we're kicking off East Coast next weekend, right? With Texas.
Yeah, for sure. And you for this fantasy league, you guys are going to have to play it smart. You're going to have to do your research and really get to know these riders because there's 20 of them that are all top guys. Anthony Rodriguez, Martin Davalos, Marvin Musquin, Matt Lemoyne, and some really big-name rookies that are coming up through the ranks. Dakota Alex on the FMS Orange Brigade team, really successful amateur rider. Joey Savacci, AJ Cantanzero. There's so many guys. It's going to be unreal to watch. And, again, most of these kids have raced against each other in amateurs and at Loretta's, so, they're all kind of friends and rivals, so it's going to be really good racing. I'm so excited. But, the star of the show is my fellow One Industries teammate, Vicki Golden, going to be lining up, for her first time racing Supercross and the first female to race Supercross. It's, she's going to be making history. So we got to try to get her on the show because I would love to talk to her, and I would love the world to, hear her story as a female. And, it's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out. I think I think TV ratings are going to be sky high, and I hope that media catches on to this like they did with the Danica Patricks and things like that, because I mean this is a defining moment in Supercross with with a female lining up against the men in in the 250 class. I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely. The media has to capture this right. I mean, anybody can have a bad race. It's not easy out there. I hope they don't, shine this in any form of negativity. If she has a bad first race, I hope they do. I hope they do this right, and I hope they do it, respectfully and tastefully. But she did just have an interview where she acknowledged the fact that she had never actually finished an arena cross main event due to complications or DNFs or DNS. She actually never raced a full arena cross main event. So she was able to acquire a point to race Supercross, but, it's going to be really challenging for her. But, win or lose, qualify or not qualify, she's making history, and it's something to be proud of, and she's only going to go up. This is, a stepping stone type of sport. You can only get better. So as long as she stays safe and consistent and can build off of it, I wouldn't doubt if she, gets better and better each round. So I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
It's a huge step for women racing. And, as a woman rider myself, it's just inspiring. It makes me want to go out and do something, that's never been done before, too. So she's really making waves.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm hoping they give her a little bit of rope, and not so hard on her, because, there's a lot of riders that, male riders that step in and they suck for their first season in the 250s, and you never hear anything about it, and,
and they still suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I hope they aren't getting hard on her. And that's the thing. She's well known. She's popular on social media. I hope people don't take the negative route. It does worry me a little bit, but she's one badass chick. She'll hold her own for sure. She's going to beat half the guys out there. I already know.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely looking forward to that. One of the big storylines. Getting ready to kick off 250 East. We've got a great battle with the 450s. We're about midway through. Not even midway through the season yet. Maybe a third of the season, and I got to tell you, it's heating up. I'm getting excited.
Yeah, I really think the East Coast 250s, we're going to be spending most of our time talking about that, because it's going to be on fire. It's going to be bar banging, taking out crazy action. This coast is going to be gnarly. It's going to be on fire. I can't wait. I honestly couldn't even give you a top 3, top 5 podium. I have no idea. I'm not going to know until after the first couple rounds. It's going to be crazy. I do think Marvin is out for the kill, and Bogle defending his title. So we got a couple top guys out there. So we just got to see how these rookies do. And usually it's the rookies that surprise us. So, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, there's always somebody that breaks through we weren't expecting, and all of a sudden they're up there in the top 3 every round. You're like, oh, where did he come from? We didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I know. And I think we're going to have a lot of those guys on the East Coast, because usually all the rookies start riding the East Coast first because they have to get their arena cross point, or usually it takes a little while for them to get the money and the funding and the team support. They miss the West Coast, so they start on the East Coast. Usually you see a lot of these young guns, again, start on the East. So it's, I think there's going to be a lot more people, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Exciting.
Yeah. So how was San Diego? I don't know if you're still there, if you're back in Canada, but you had to have loved the weather, escaping the cold for a few days, huh?
Well, in one day, I went from plus 30 to minus 30. That's wrong. No one should have to experience that. It was awesome, though. I love San Diego. It's probably one of my favorite American cities. It's beautiful. And you got the beach, you got downtown. It's really, really cool. Everyone loved the new venue at the Petco Stadium. It was so cool to be in the heart of downtown, and the stadium was surrounded by skyscrapers and big buildings, and the subway or not the subway, I guess it's like one of those external trains. We don't got that in Winnipeg, so I don't even know what they're called. But it ran kind of right around the pits, so everyone kind of had to stop before walking. There was 2 pits, like Pit A and Pit B, and you had to cross the street to get to it, and we had to stop for the train all the time. It was kind of cool. But yeah, San Diego was awesome. It was Military Appreciation Week, so all the riders and teams got involved with the graphics and gear and tons of cool stuff going on. So you guys have to check out my Motorcycle Superstore video, which will be out today or tomorrow, where I do a whole military appreciation inspired video, and you can see what all the teams do. Some of the things are really, really cool, so make sure you guys check it out. But it was an awesome weekend. The sun was shining, everybody was happy. There was no serious injuries, so it was a good weekend for sure.
Yeah, San Diego's it's one of my favorite cities in the U.S. and just beautiful. I mean, it's a military town. I mean, and did you get a chance to right outside of Petco Park there's the Gas Lamp District, kind of the historic Gas Lamp District. They have some amazing bars and stuff in there. Did you get a chance to go down there at all?
Well, I was so tired, and I had a 6 a.m. flight, which means I have to be at the airport for 4. So I was going with the intention that I was like, yes, I haven't partied at a Supercross. One Industries and Monster was doing a nice big after party. I'm like, I'm going. By the end of the day, I was so tired from running around like a chicken with my head cut off, filming and working, that I had to call it a night. I couldn't do it. But I did get the opportunity on Friday to go out to the beach and get my friend's car towed and be kind of stuck in San Diego for a whole day so we could figure out how to get her truck. But no, we did a little bit of touristy stuff, but it was fun.
Very cool. So what's next for Ami Houde? I know obviously you were in San Diego. You going to hit any of the East Coast rounds?
I am. My next stop is going to be Daytona, which is one of my favorite rounds. I love Daytona, and it's my birthday weekend, so I have no excuses this time. I'm going to have to try to hit up something. It's Bike Week. There's also Enduro Cross, so I'm going to be down there for a couple days to hit everything up that I can. And then I'm going to be going to St. Louis and Vegas. So there's a few more stops for me. I can't wait. But, yeah, I have tons of stuff I'm trying to line up now. It's getting close to our race season starting, putting together all the packages, trying to figure out where I'm going to go. Canadian Nationals, U.S., over to Europe again. And, Jim, we might have something interesting up our sleeves that I'll be able to race this year. So we'll have to keep everybody posted once we find out more.
Yeah, definitely trying to work on those final details. But I think everybody will be excited if you can get that all put together.
I know. I can't wait.
Yeah.
We'll have breaking news on your show.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely have to keep in touch on that, and appreciate your reports. And glad you had a good time in San Diego, and we'll definitely have to do it again next week.
Yep, for sure. And again, next week is going to be crazy. You guys tweet me your picks for the East Coast. I want to know. And if you guys have any local friends or amateur guys, they're starting their rookie season on the East Coast, let me know. Let me know who they are. We would love to kind of give them a shout-out and, boost them up. So tweet at me, send me a post on Instagram or Facebook. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and I have got a few tweets. We are definitely still giving away gift cards. I've been crazy busy. Amy's been crazy busy. I'm getting the list of the winners. And we'll definitely start reaching out to you guys. But if you are a winner and we haven't reached out to you yet, you can definitely get a hold of me or Amy, and we'll get you dialed in. But we're definitely still giving them out. I know we've got some back ones we've got to give away. But it's still on, and I think that was the last weekend, the last chance. I think this is your last chance to get involved in Fantasy Supercross. We got 313 guys so far, or guys and ladies, entered so far. But all the throwaways are now out. So if you miss this weekend, you're gonna start being penalized. You haven't been penalized yet, but still got plenty of time to get in though. Get in this week.
Yeah, and you guys want to win some of those KMS wheels. They are so badass. I want to win some.
Yeah.
On this truck of mine.
Yeah. Pretty bad. Awesome. All right, Amy. Well, thanks for calling in, and we'll talk soon.
Yep, thanks for having me. And again, you guys, don't forget to check out my Motorcycle Superstore Pit Adventure video dropping today or tomorrow. Check it out.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
Amy. Bye. Take it easy.
Yeah.
All right, that was Ami Houde, resident Supercross expert, calling in and talking about some Supercross, and we'll definitely have her back next week like we will all Supercross season, but definitely tweet us your picks. Going to give you a rundown of our Fantasy Action Sports League right now, Down and Dirty Radio Show Fantasy Supercross, presented by KMC Wheels and MotorcycleSuperstore.com. Don't forget KMC Wheels, overall winner of the year, is getting a set of KMC Wheels, and each weekly winner, high points winner, is getting a MotorcycleSuperstore.com gift card. Right now, out front, Dickie Deal still doing his thing. 4,028 points. We got Orvis in second with 4,015. That's the 1-2. We got Diebert 520 in third. Aaron H. 731 in fourth, and IR K-Man 524 in fifth place. Pretty heated battle up there at top, especially Orvis and Dickie Deal every single week. These guys are going back and forth trading spots. Just going to kind of look real quick to see who our high points winner was. Looks like was it maybe 693, 698? Maybe we've got a girl going to take the win this week by the name of Chrissy. So, congrats goes out to Chrissy. I believe she is possibly our high points getter. No. Going down here a little more. Timbo Slice. No, and it's Lil Jock 02. So, a lot of you guys, Sack Attack, looks like you are in there. So, we're going to have to sort through all those. Hodges BMX. 718, I think that is the highest I've seen so far. So maybe Hodges BMX is going to be our winner. I'm still sitting in there in 63rd. 63rd in points, had a couple of bad weeks, but I'm hanging tight. Definitely don't have a chance those KMC wheels, but I'm pushing along. Going to use a few throwaways, that's for sure. But get involved. FantasyActionSportsLeague.com, KMC wheels to the overall winner, MotorcycleSuperstore.com, gift cards to our weekly winners. Definitely lots of fun. And chat with Amy and I on Twitter. Let us know your picks at JimBeaver15, at Ami Houde 71, and we'll get you all dialed in. But it's FantasyActionSportsLeague.com, and you can get involved. 313 of you so far are in the league, and we can always take more. So the throwaways are our way. So if you're not in this week for this week's race in Texas, you're going to start being penalized. You'll still be able to be involved for the weekly winnings, but your chance at overall, if you're not in by this weekend, is out the window. It's been a great show so far. Bummer we missed Ricky Johnson, but things happen. But we're going to give you a quick rundown of Supercross results real quick. Results from San Diego: Cooper Webb with a win, Shane McElroy second, Tyler Bowers third, Josh Hansen fourth, Alex Martin in fifth. Those are your 250 winners, 250 point standings thus far. Cooper Webb with that solid lead, 30-point lead over Jesse Nelson. Then Tyler Bowers 2 points back at Jesse. Zach Osborne 2 back of Bowers, and then Shane McElrath sitting in fifth position. Don't forget, we're moving into the 250 East now after this week, but then we've got Trey Kennard, yet another win in the 450s. Kenny Roxon with the whole shot, but finished up in second. Dungy in third. Chad Reed fourth. Eli Tomac rounding out your top five. And your 450 points. A shootout with 127 for Dungy. Roxon back there, 9 points back with 118. Then 9 points back of him. We've got Kennard, and then Tomac and Jason Anderson. Seeley Reed, Barsha Baggett, and Andrew Short. And we got Davey Millsap sitting back there in 11th. So not the season we were expecting out of Davey Millsaps, but you never know. He could turn things around for sure. So, definitely some great racing in the 450s. Going to be interesting. Any of the 250 West guys going to step up, run a 450 on the East Coast rounds? We will see. That's always one of the interesting storylines, but we'll figure it out, get it all dialed in, and see what happens. So, this coming next couple of weeks, obviously Supercross on tap again this coming weekend. Got some World Rally Championship coming up, Rally America coming up. We got the UTV World Championships coming up. We got more Snocross on tap, so lots of great events coming up. Also heard something about possibly some Terracross Winter Series racing. So, our friends at Polaris Razor hopefully going to make that happen in the Terracross Series. So, lots of cool stuff. And don't forget that Red Bull Snow Boundaries event just dropped today. Speaking of drops, as we were on air, my good friends at Dirtfish Rally School are sending me emails and texts as we speak, and we got some breaking news from our friends at Dirtfish Rally School. And I got to say, we knew about Tanner Witten making that big announcement. He's running the Dirtfish branded GRC light car, but they're dropping a press release today on the livery. Got to say, the livery shows a little similarities to my livery on my number 15 trophy truck, both designed by the amazing designer, Trevor Wirt. But, this Dirtfish light car, a little bit of orange and gray, kind of got the triangles going on, kind of like my trophy truck. You got to love it. Also a hauler, definitely integrating a bunch of cool stuff and fanfare into the program. I got to tell you, I need to, I think we should do live radio from one of these GRC events this year, tied in with Dirtfish. What do you guys think? I don't know what. I think it's going to happen. We're going to have to get my buddy Chris Leone on here and tell him we need to make this deal happen. Tie it in with Dirtfish and GRC, and definitely needs to be a go. But it's been. It's definitely been a wild week for me, starting off, last week getting basically snowed in Michigan, taking a rental car across the entire state of Michigan to Chicago, getting my flights canceled, getting rebooked, flying out of Chicago to Phoenix, get there, got a General Tire photo shoot, got an appearance at a youth center the next day, qualifying in the trophy truck, contingency day, race day, yesterday prep day for the radio show. Here we are doing radio, and I've got about a 2-week break before the UTV World Championships, and I got to tell you, we got a lot going on the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned. I mean, we're definitely going to have some more. And as far as guests coming up, got Jason Coleman, Desert Racer Jason Coleman in Class 10. He is going to be on at some point. Joe Duncan from Terracross, we're going to have him. Ami Houde, she'll be back. Also going to try and get Harley Letner. We'll see if we can make that happen. We'll try and circle back with Ricky Johnson, get him on air as well. I know of a lot of Supercross racers that got a lot of Supercross racers that were dialing in to be on air. I know my good friend Nick Roberts, who runs Rally America. We're going to have a sit-down interview with him and talk about his program at some point. So, definitely a lot of good stuff coming to the Down and Dirty radio show. And I know once we get dialed in with short course, we're definitely going to start blowing things up. Lucas and Torque got some amazing announcements coming out of them. We need to get some of the people behind the series as well as the drivers as they start finalizing some of their plans, and we got a lot of my Polaris Razor teammates we're going to circle into the radio show as well. So lots of big things coming up for the Down and Dirty radio show, powered by Polaris Razor, and got some big announcements on a syndication deal coming up that we're going to make as well. So you definitely want to be looking forward to that. It's going to be that much easier to tune into the Down and Dirty radio show. And don't forget 100 Acre Wood. They are looking for volunteers. If you're in the Missouri area and you're planning on going out to the 100 Acre Wood Rally, please get in contact with the series. They need more volunteers. They've got an amazing entry list of drivers and teams going to be competing. They need more paper. I don't know where that came from. They need more people. So 100aw.org, 100aw.org. Get in contact with the series. Tell me you want to volunteer. Help out, man. Give back to the sport that you love, and I will definitely see you there. Got to give a big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish Rally School. Be sure to stop by their Facebook page, their Instagram feed at Dirtfish Rally, and check out that new announcement they made on Tanner Witten's GRC Light program. UPR.com. Check out their new website, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Wakeboard Island. Got to thank JMAR Performance Brakes, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company. Got to thank my good friend Ami Houde for calling in. Derek West, big congrats to the top 5 for him, as well as Gary Weyhrich and the boys from Tisco Racing on their win, and thanks to Gary for calling in. If you haven't done it yet, you need to download our app today, the official Down and Dirty Radio Show app, available on Apple iTunes and Google Play. I believe it's no longer on the Amazon Kindle store. We're going to try and get it back up on there, but Amazon changes some things around, making it harder. So, and not many of you really have Amazon Kindles you're listening to the show on anyway, so I don't know. We'll see if we can make it happen. A lot of you are asking, do we have it for the Windows Phone? We do not, but one of our partners, Spreaker, does have their app. You can listen live through Spreaker on a Windows Phone. Download that app. It's available for the Windows Phone. So you can definitely get our live shows and archive shows through the Spreaker app. Also, had a lot of feedback from you iTunes listeners. Yes, I know the podcast is not current on iTunes. We changed our RSS feed. We will make those changes. We'll get it up. And, and you're going to have to resubscribe to it. But it will definitely be back up on iTunes this week. So, thanks to all of you for tuning in each and every week to the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Down and Dirty Show, or catch all our back episodes at downanddyrtyshow.com or one of our many affiliates. I will be back next Monday. It will be a Monday show next Monday. I realize it's President's Day. We will be airing on next Monday. Hopefully all of you can tune in. And as always, remember, it is game on.